knowledge I had of Him. I find it interesting that I prayed to Allah and Jesus came up. The next day when I went to school and asked a friend, how does one become a Christian? He said, all you need to do is to invite Christ into your heart. I said, I did that yesterday. What else do I need to do? As imperfect as my communication with God was, I believe He met me where I was. Once I decided to follow Jesus, the next step was to learn more about Him, which was reading the Bible. So I began to read the Bible. Many of the phrases, many of the stories were strange to me. Nevertheless, I was very much intrigued by who Jesus was. I'm so glad in a way that no one tried to put words in my mouth, no one told me what to do. It was all by the direction of God through Jesus what I was supposed to do next. So I came to the conclusion that I needed to get baptized. So a few months after I had become a believer, I got baptized. As I got to know Jesus, I realized that good grades were not that important anymore. One night as I was lying down on bed, I had just finished about Jesus walking on water. I began to think about my future, and I heard a voice saying, son, don't you think that the man who walks on water can also take care of your grades? Now I had hope. Now I had the peace and the joy that my friends had. Now I knew I could deal with the problems that were facing me. I knew that although my problems were real, that Jesus was able to walk me through it. It wasn't so much that He was going to solve all my problems, but He was going to be standing there with me. I didn't have to solve and face these problems by myself. I used to have an ulcer, and once I began to follow Christ, gradually, because that power of shame was lifted, because that weight on my back, that yoke was taken away by Jesus, then eventually my stress went away, and the pain of ulcer went away, and God healed me. But it's a process, and the more I got to know Him, the greater the peace got. To the point today that I realize life is full of problems, but I have hope that I'm not facing it alone, and if I never have an answer, I still trust that God is in charge, that He is not taking it out on me, and He is not trying to punish me for something, but in fact, He is with me to help me face the problems of life. I was flying from Syria to Lebanon. I sat next to an Arab gentleman, and we began to converse. He was a Muslim, and I told him about what a friend of mine had told me in Jordan. This is the story that my friend told me. He said his next door neighbor shot his own sister on the street 7 times during the day, with everyone witnessing it, and he waited until the police showed up, gave him his gun, and they let him go because it was honor killing. His sister was caught in adultery, and he had to remove that which had brought shame to the family. By killing her, he had restored the honor. And I asked the Arab gentleman sitting next to me, I said, do you think the man did the right thing? And he said, oh, by God, yes, of course. I would have done the same thing myself. I said, have you ever done anything to bring shame on God? He thought a little bit, and being an honest man that he was, he said, yes, I have. I said, do you think God should destroy you to restore the honor to Himself again? He said, yes. If it wasn't because of His mercy, yes, He should. I said, is it possible for Him to put your shame on someone else and destroy him to bring His honor back? He thought a little bit. He said, it's a possibility. I said, what if He did that with Jesus on the cross? That was just a question. I did not expect an answer from him. I think one of the things that my friends have to realize, again, this is a process. What our job is to share the good news of Jesus with people. It is God's job to take that seed and cause it to germinate in their lives. I think my suggestion to my Muslim friends, the same thing. Give Jesus a chance. I would like you to ask yourself, who's going to remove the shame that I'm dealing with in my life? Jesus died on the cross so he can remove you from the place of shame to a position of honor, so that you can have the honor that God would like you to have with him.